They don't eat meat. No
Not
meats.
at all, huh?
No meats at all. Right. So all plants and stuff. No
Could
flesh.
you ever rock with that?
I tried it.
Really?
I tried it for like
How long
6
ago?
months. I tried it during COVID.
Mm.
It gets a little hard to like. I think it's a lifestyle that you have to adapt over a long period of time, because for me, I just started to get bored of food, and it was because there's two things. There's a texture,
Mm.
like meat has this very like rigid feel, and I missed that.
Mm.
So there was that. It's hard for me. What I was trying to do, it's hard to get the macros that I want to get. Like I'm not saying it's impossible for all the vegans out there. Don't come at me. Don't message me. Don't DM me.
But it's super difficult.
It was
is
hard
not?
for me.
Yeah.
And for most of them, I feel like it's pretty hard too, at least at the beginning, until you really start to explore the world.
Yeah.
And find different foods and different stuff and whatever. But it seemed really hard to do that. And it seemed really hard to do that.
Don't worry about hurting anybody's feelings. But what's the
Well,
biggest vegan bodybuilder?
I have to say seemed because again I didn't do it long enough,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that there's people out there that do it.
Mm.
So I can only speak from my perspective because it was really hard
Like
for me.
and I'm
Maybe
asking
if I did
because
it,
I saw this black guy
Yeah.
on Instagram the other day.
yeah,
Rastafarian, and he's vegan, and he's heavy into working out, but he was just like super like lean and
yeah,
like
but he didn't have a lot of mass to him.
zero mass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it possible to put on mass without meat?
Nothing is impossible. I'll say that nothing is
Uh-huh.
impossible, right? I think
Okay, it's very,
it
very,
would be harder.
very,
I think it would
very
be harder.
difficult
It will be harder. Yes, it will be harder.
because of getting the macros, getting
The
that
macros
protein in,
right, and then
The
you have to
amount
take
you
in
need.
like your genetics and your lifestyle. Like depending on that, then you might need macros even more so. In your favor,
Mm.
and it might be hard to put them in your favor if you're limited to foods that are not so much in your favor.
Mm. Okay,
You know
so
what I mean?
like scratch the bodybuilding part of it. Do you think, like just personal opinion, no right or
Yeah.
wrong,
Yeah.
are we supposed to eat meat? Are we healthier if we don't?
That's okay.
And let's
So-
go
I'll
with
ask this
just
one.
and
I'll
let's
ask
go
this
with like
Yeah.
like unmodified meat, like organic meat,
Yeah.
like natural. You know
So
what I mean?
I'm gonna say my opinion because I know there's people out there that's gonna be like, well, this paper and this science shows, and I'm pretty like science based
Yeah.
too for the most part. From what I've seen,
Yeah.
if you want to live a longer life, you go vegan.
Mm.
But if you want to have, depending on your lifestyle, if you want to be like real, like your absolute strongest,
Mm.
if you're like a super high level athlete,
Mm.
it's more challenging to be vegan. It's a little bit more beneficial to have meats. Now, when you say like, are we supposed to have meat? I would say yes, and it's a challenging question because we have to look at like evolution.
Mm.
Like if we go back, however many years, prehistoric, 100,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, whatever you want to think about it, right? Like, because again, if we evolved and we were Neanderthals, again, I don't know if that's your belief with religion, whatever, but like if even our teeth and stuff, we have teeth, like you have these for like tearing meats and stuff. So it would just make sense to me that, yeah, we're supposed to have meats. Maybe we're not supposed to have it in the quantity that we have it now.
Right.
And that would also make sense.
Right.
Because again, for me, I have different beliefs. If I think, going back, if we were hunters and gatherers, we probably didn't always have access to meat. So we didn't eat it as much.
Mm-hmm.
We ate a lot of berries and other stuff. So that's just my belief.
Mm.
I think we're meant to eat it, just not as often as we eat it.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah, I could rock with that. And we only like like me myself personally,
Yeah.
I only eat it so often because I have a goal, and that helps me achieve my goal.
That's it.
But it's all just vanity. It's
100%.
right. It's nothing. Right.
100%.
You know,
So I agree 100% with what you said.
Yeah.
I even think like, again, because of evolution for me, like a lot of us, like if we go back again, like there's probably a lot of Neanderthals or like even just like older human species that were probably like really jacked from not eating as much. They just were better hunters, better blah blah blah, and that's why they survived, right? But now we have like things are so different, and the food is available that like a lot of us can become a certain way and be a certain way because of that food is available. When realistically, that bloodline probably should have just like died out.
Yeah.
This is the harsh truth. This is my opinion and like thoughts.
They were probably just so much more active back then too.
100%.
Like we've been sitting here.
100%.
They didn't do that. They were walking.
Well, maybe they were just over a campfire once in a while.
For sure. But like they had to go
cutting
like,
up some fish.
get their food, do this.
Yeah.
It was
Throwing rocks around. Maybe
physical activity back then, bro.
Maybe. But
They were watching no
if you
Netflix,
look at like some like primitive like Amazonian tribes and stuff that like don't wear shoes and stuff, if you see what their like feet even look like, have you watched the movie Tarzan?
I don't think so. No.
There's a new one out with the Tarzan, and there's a part where he like goes like this with his knuckles, and his knuckles just like these big boulders, and like you could see that his hand was like tough.
Yeah.
Right? That's a strong ass hand.
Yeah.
But if you were using your hands to like grip things and like hold things, throw things all the time,
yeah,
your hands would probably look a lot different. Your body would look a whole lot different. Same with your feet. Like I call shoes feet coffins. That's my other word for them. Foot coffins. I try to get out of them as much as possible because they just kill your feet. If we look at like older tribes and stuff and you look at their feet, they look like gorilla feet. They're just thick and strong looking, but that's from like stepping on rocks and trees and shit like that.
But that's so weird because like say I'm standing at my desk, my stand-up editing, like I need my shoes or else like my back starts to hurt because I'm standing on the rough
because you've been on that crutch for so long.
Messed up. That sucks.
You've been on that crutch for so long. If you keep it's because when you stand and you have your shoes on, you're put in a different position. So now you are like accustomed to that position. Your body's like grooved its way into that position. It's comfortable there. It's kind of like water. Like, they say like water takes a long time and then it can cut through rock or whatever. It's the same thing, right? Even if you have like shitty flat feet and you get what are those insoles called again?
Like orthotics?
Orthotics.
Yeah.
They tell you not to, even though they're better for your feet, they tell you not to wear them all the time because it's going to hurt you, right? But it's because, again, that's going to be your crutch, right? It's going to put you in a different position, and if you're there, it's going to hurt you. But if you were never in your shoes, right? Do you think that you would have those back problems? No, at some point your body would adjust. Your body would have just grown up not needing shoes. And then if you did wear shoes, you'd be like, oh, this is like uncomfortable. My knees hurt, my back hurts, my shoulders, my neck hurts. Yeah. It's because that's how your body has been like grooved. Yeah. Right?
And to go back to that vegan bodybuilder I was talking about, the craziest thing about the video I saw is that he was with his 70-year-old aunt, I think she was.
Yeah.
And she was vegan as well. I guess he learned from her. And she was 70
and rocking it,
lean,
rocking
nice muscle, nice arm tone.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's something to think about.
Yeah,
that, and like clean, nice energy, bro. Energy for days. That impresses me more than the dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you said, live longer, right?
Yeah, I think part of it is like genetics too.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think if you want to live longer, it depends. So when I've been asked this question, I would say it depends on what the problems that you have and what your goals are. Because one diet, it might be bad for your heart, but like great for cancer, for example. But then another diet might be like terrible for cancer, like food, like our meat. They say is like very carcinogenous. Might be terrible for cancer, as they say. I won't get into that because they're like the way that study was read is not really correct.
No, like you say, you're questioning everything.
Right.
Just questioning. You're allowed to question.
So it might be bad for cancer, but like great for your heart or something else. So it just really depends, right? There's paleo, there's this, there's that, there's keto. You know, if you're hypoglycemic, I don't know, maybe it is better for you to be on a keto diet. Maybe, I don't know. Depends, right? But if you have gallstones or something, maybe it's not a good idea for you to be on a keto diet.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything that's like, this is the tried and true and the go-to and the only thing. I think there's just depends on what you're trying to achieve. The thing with the vegan thing is too, though, is like, again, I can only say because I don't know, but the overfishing and stuff, because we're consuming too much of it, the overfishing and wildlife dying out because they can't. We're fucking up the food chain. Sorry, excuse my language. Messing up the food chain because of how much we're taking in.
Yeah,
that might be a problem.
Yeah, we definitely eat too much.
Right.
Like we 100% eat too much.